Continuing with my American history notes from yesterday, the Boston court approached the town of Salem, where Roger Williams preached, and offered them a compromise: get rid of your preacher or lose your beautiful beach at Marbleneck. The town, which had suffered horribly in darkness and witch trials, for which it was made famous for later, chose to keep the beach. The Boston court, rather than executing Williams, chose to banish him from Massachusetts in 1636. Now, when Williams did not show up to be deported back to England, a manhunt ensued for this dangerous criminal. He moved on to Plymouth, where he found some sympathizers, but Governor Winslow of Plymouth suggested he go further into Rhode Island, which was labeled the sewer of New England, according to Backus' work mentioned previously. Roger Williams was welcomed by the Narragansett Indians, and Massasoit, their chief, agreed to sell Williams, his wife, his two little children, and several of his followers land on the banks of the Sedonk River. He founded a colony which he called Providence. Then Roger Williams, the first missionary to the Indians, ahead of John Eliot, the first European to publish a primer on the Native American languages, the first statesman, the first statesman to defend Native American land rights, and the first American to be banished for his religious convictions, helped unite the Indian tribes against the Indian version of Attila the Hun, Sassacas, the chief of the Pequots. Sassacas was defeated by a combined force of Narragansetts and Mohegans under Miantamimo and Uncas. He then fled to the Mohawks, promptly beheaded him, giving all of New England, European and Indian, some peace for a time. For helping unite the Indians against a common enemy, Governor Winthrop sought to have Williams' ban lifted, but there's no record that he ever returned to Massachusetts. In August of 1638, the people of Providence Plantation approved the first public document ever outside of the Bible, establishing government without interference in religious matters. The Providence Compact, along with the Mayflower Compact, the Portsmouth Compact, and the later Rhode Island Charter, written by John Clark, were an important part of the basis, the foundation for the U.S. Constitution, the concept of separation of church and state, and our freedom of religion and from religious tyranny. With Roger Williams and part of his congregation baptizing each other as adult believers in Christ, they formed a church. Williams renounced his baptism a few months later, not being able to find a scriptural warrant for an unbaptized person baptizing anyone. Seemingly, Williams' later walk in faith was confused and uncertain. Historians themselves are confused and uncertain about what Williams truly believed. He was most certainly extremely anti-authority. Records also show that he was very forgiving of others' misdeeds, particularly those against himself. Without deifying Williams, let me just say that if being American is about freedom, liberty of conscience, the right to worship God as we deem correct, without any interference or coercion from the government, then Roger Williams was the first American of many that would follow. But I'll stop there. We'll pick it up next time, talking about 4 great settlements in New England. I hope that if you enjoyed this, you'll click like and subscribe or follow and share the video with someone else. And feel free to make comments. Thank you.